James Sulli Sullivan.
Yes, sir.
We have had the pleasure of your company in IndyCar for many years now. Now we have you in the IMSA WeatherTech Championship paddock.
I'm here.
I love it. I know you. Open wheel fans know you. I don't think IMSA fans have gotten to know you yet. As Vasser says, just look for the spiky hair.
That's
but
right.
Tell me about this move into IMSA, GT Daytona with Lexus, cars that are impossible to miss. We'll talk about that in a moment, but tell me about this expansion for you and the AIM Vasser Sullivan team.
Yeah, it's a huge part of my professional career within motorsports, maybe the height, to be honest with you. And I'd say Vasser feels the same way. And as Vasser Sullivan, we always said we needed to be two spokes. And when we had the global rallycross team with IndyCar, it worked very well for us. And when that other spoke went away, we've never taken our eye off the ball of what is that second spoke. And by second, I don't mean inferior, I just additional spoke, maybe is the best way to say it. So we've had our eye on IMSA, specifically GTD, for quite some years. We've had a few opportunities prior to this. They were not, for a few reasons, the right opportunity for us. We've had the opportunity with Lexus and in partnership, engineering partnership with TRD, came across our desks, and we started the discussion quite heavily actually at the Long Beach IndyCar race. And we've go back a few years with Bourdin and the Willises. And actually, we met with them in 2016 about just a potential collaboration, not even specific to sports car.
Wow.
It was at SEMA. Andrew, myself, and Jimmy had dinner, and we talked about ways we might be able to work together in the future. So it's really interesting for us that it's now come full circle since then, and we're here, and we're in IMSA GTD, representing Lexus, racing the RCFs together, and it's a newly created team. So we've had the cars 57 days, we've been in entity 86 days, and we're here with two cars at the Roar, and we're really proud of it.
You mentioned there about the timeline. I mean, this team's been together, call it 3 months or so. This program's now entering its third year. There might be an expectation for some of, oh, you're going to win first time out. The reality is, this is a new team, but also this car is still in development. It's not necessarily at the place of being a turnkey championship winning effort. Where do you manage expectations of where you want to be versus that growth period?
Yeah, well, you're exactly right, and they're certainly there. And it's not dumb on us as AIM Vasser Sullivan that this is Lexus's third year competing in this program at GTD, and it's our third month competing. So you can quickly see where there's a crossroads there. But they understand that. They knew that AIM Vasser Sullivan is not a team or an organization that was created to do anything else other than this. It was created for that specific purpose. We have the new shop on the ground in Charlotte down the street from TRD, so we can take advantage of their technical expertise. But that is one of our largest challenges. Number one is to get functional, and number two is to try to cut our learning curve to catch up to perhaps where the paddock and others think that we ought to be right out of the box. So that certainly is a challenge, but we're accepting of it.
So last question for you, last topic. We've known you as kind of the master marketeer. You have brought, I've stopped keeping track of how many sponsors you've brought into motor racing. Your cars are always the easiest ones to spot on track. Folks tend to love the liveries.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It looks like you have applied all the things you're known for with these Lexus RC F GT3s. Can you tell us a little bit about the livery design and what it is, how you came up with it?
Yeah, I sure can. Part of what we were tasked with when we created AIM Vasser Sullivan, tasked with by Lexus, was Lexus is less than 30 years old as a brand, and Lexus F as a sport is less than 12 years old, or 12 years old rather. So getting the car-loving consumer or fan to understand that Lexus is more than a luxury vehicle. Lexus is known and should be known as a sport and a performance vehicle. So we had an opportunity when we created AIM Vasser Sullivan, not just to brand ourselves, but to brand ourselves as racing Lexuses, and that's where the honeycomb pattern came from. We really wanted an identity that spoke to sport, that spoke to performance, that right away when you see the AIM Vasser Sullivan Lexus RC F GT3, that's a mouthful, you don't think luxury. You think sport, you think tech, and you think performance. So we wanted to come up with something that was identifiable within that realm, but also something that could identify AIM Vasser Sullivan as a new group. And the honeycomb is what we came up with. It's very fibrous. It's a fiber, and this fiber is in us, and we feel that way. So we're still developing that and what it means to us, but that's where the concept came from. And with regards to the loud day glow yellow, it was the bare necessity requirement for us was we don't want to be lost on track. We don't want to get lost in the paddock. And when we show up, we want people to know. I think we've accomplished that so far based on the feedback that I get.